No, I really like that song, but I don't know if it's the best theme song in the world. It's a little on the more, it's more like a score than I would suggest. I might have made a misstep. But you know what? If it gets you into harp singing, it's all worth it. Because it's cool. Although I've still never seen it live or done it live, which I really need to do. So, I was thinking this morning on more on the nature of man. And yeah, great, you want to hear more about how terrible people are. But man, we're terrible. We really are. Like, humankind is not in its nature. Like, that's something I've never understood. I know, I remember growing up at some, like meeting some people who, even in church or outside of church or whatever, who felt like human beings were essentially good, and then we like learn all this bad behavior and stuff, and then you know, we're essentially good, but then we do some selfish stuff sometimes. We definitely slip into selfishness. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, our very works on this earth as mankind really kind of damn us quite well without anything else, without any like sacred texts or religious texts or anything pointing to us. I mean, if you look at the fact that we've invented a thing that is maybe the size of a small car, or maybe a large car, I don't even know how big they are now, that we can drop and then kill, like, you know, a couple 100,000 people. It depends on where we drop it. We could maybe kill like 500,000 people. And we don't have we don't have any sort of cool thing that you can drop and then all of a sudden like 100,000 people, or even 10,000 people, 100 people are immediately cured of the common cold or the flu. Or we don't have, we haven't really come up with anything that you can like, oh, we can just split this atom and create food. Or here we can split even the things we do, like nuclear energy is pretty amazing as like the flip side. Hey, maybe that's helpful. Creates toxic waste that then deteriorates our internal organs. Like, we are so set on destruction and conquering, and then really it's the fact that we then dwell in places where people have already set up an entire system of how to dwell and conquer that then gives us security. So then we can sit back and kind of be like, oh, you know, it's all not so bad. But nonetheless, we dwell in that society that made that. And were it not that there, then we'd be caught up in it. So it's funny to me, and it's that essential nature, I believe, that the Ten Commandments came to move. Because in times before then, it was not. I mean, some people just look at those and like, come on, that's pretty practical, those things. You know, treat others how you want to be treated. Sure. But at least from the evidence of history, people didn't really do that. People did that less and less. And people would only really tend to do that out of fear. Out of like, oh, that tribe is bigger than our tribe, we should treat them nice. And people tended to maybe operate in that system a little bit, but only amongst their people group. If there was some other people group that was somehow determined to be different because their tents were different or their caves were painted yellow instead of blue, and they would go and rape and kill and take their stuff and feel no anything about it. That dominance instinct, which still exists amongst us. We may have put on a nice coat and a tie, but the Ten Commandments came to say, hey, nasty humans who love to destroy, here's what God wants you to do. Here's how God would like you to move through this broken world. And I want to read a little bit about it, and that it doesn't have to be a, hey, you bad men and women with your nastiness. That it actually is a joy to be given intention, because we're like, why are we here then? Why are we here in this broken, wicked world? The law of the Lord. This is Psalms. I love Psalms 19:7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, yea, than much fine gold. Sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. Moreover, by them your servant is warned, and in keeping them there is great reward. And not always great reward in this earth, in this earth full of a species that has become one of the most sublime at destruction in the history of time, in the history of recorded history and unrecorded history. In this world that tends towards entropy and tends towards a jumble, which we all one day the sun is going to explode and rip through us or whatever. That all we seek and chase here that is not consecrated it's all going to pass away. And it's crazy in this destruction world. We also all tend to seek immortality, I think, in one way or another. Especially as an artist, your like desire is to create this like either like a frozen moment with other people that then like somehow you feel like you've left a spark that left a little black mark on time immemorial. Or if you make sculptures, you're like, this will outlive my art will outlive me by thousands of years. And people have children because they're like, somehow through this I will continue to dwell. And we desire to dwell forever. And I think we desire to dwell forever because we're intended to dwell forever. Not in the way we understand it. We look around and go, oh, it must be this, this. I know I'm totally that person that I look around. Oh, this. Oh, let's just do this then. I stole Archie's notebook the other day and made a bunch of notes in it. She was like, Brennan, you have 19 notebooks. And I'm sure I do have somewhere in the neighborhood of 16 to 27 notebooks. And she was like, why would you take mine, which has all my recipes and stuff in it? And she was like, why don't you pick right now which one you're going to use? I was like, for what stuff? She's like, for everything. And I was like, and then I just looked around, and whichever one was closest, I just pointed at. I was like, that one. I think that's like kind of like how the human mind is. We're like, what's important? Oh, it must be this. But for any of you that have ever been moved by something outside of yourself, that's what we need to keep our eyes focused on. That's what the law, and that's funny, that's what moral law points us to as well. And Christ came in fulfillment of that law to then live that law and then die and sacrifice for us, that we might, since we are going to fall short of that law at some point, still struggle with the darkness of the world and the darkness of ourselves and our selfishness and our lack of my lack of compassion. It's like the law illuminates us not only to just what we should do to other people, but then what that makes us as a person. How that actually contradicts so much about our very basic nature. To treat others as you would treat yourselves is quite contrary to your basic nature. We spend a lot of time not doing that. I know very few people who do that, who treat others as they treat themselves. I don't randomly grab people off the street and take them to In-N-Out when they're craving it. You know? I don't go, I'm craving an ice cream. Maybe that strange man over there is craving ice cream. Would you like a strange ice cream, sir? I don't go, man, hey, how you doing with rent? You need an extra couple bucks? Like, I don't. I spend most of my time on myself. But the law turns your eyes from that and turns your eyes towards the Lord, who's the only one who has ever helped me be anything like that, anything close to that. And my whole journey in this life is to just follow him until he can make me that. He can make me holy and make me of use to him and hopefully to you. So if I can be of use to you, let me know. And good morning.